I can.
Wait, did you stop it?
I didn't.
Is it? Are we live?
Mm-hmm.
Ho!
Hello.
Oh, I can control my volume. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Live from an enchanted
Yes.
closet at Free Float Media headquarters.
Yeah. You need to turn the music down. That's what needs to
It's a
happen.
silly Tuesday edition of Business Pants, joined as always by Emma Lurking.
Hi, it's me.
I'm the guy who was about to ask, "Where's Matt and Ari? Where's Matt and Ari?" Emma, where are they? Do we know?
Ari, I believe, is too busy for us today, and
Okay.
Matt doesn't like us.
Oh,
So I think
well,
that's
that's
the
nothing
situation.
new though, and he's usually here. So
It's true.
yeah. In today's raspberry-stained beret of gooey goodness called June 21st, 2022, is that the first day of summer? I guess whatever that means.
Is it?
I guess. Emma, we're gonna cover all the headlines that smacked us across the face.
Okay. That sounds great.
I very honestly, first we made a list of about 55 to 60 headlines. Actually, it was more like 70, and then I
Was it
deleted a
really that
few.
many?
Yeah,
Wow.
I added a few, and then we very honestly chose the ones that just we felt something. We just felt something.
Yeah. Yeah, we felt
Okay.
something.
This is in lieu of our typical Tuesday edition of Biz Nuggets because really, as Matt and I have discovered, only Matt laughs at my dumb jokes. So I don't know if I could handle an hour of crickets with Emma just staring at me with every one of my failed jokes. I couldn't
Matt
handle it.
really is the perfect person to consume your comedy. He really does laugh at all of your jokes. It's pretty amazing that you found
The,
him.
the question is he faking it just to keep the company seem relevant?
You know, it's an interesting question. That being said, Matt is many things. Matt doesn't laugh at stuff he doesn't think is funny.
I don't know. We've never seen him like in one of those executive broy meetings he goes to though.
I think he's the funny one in those meetings though. Like I don't think he has to worry about laughing at other people's jokes.
All right, you don't have to kiss up to Matt anymore. I'm gonna mute myself so I can clear my throat.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Here's
Let's
how it works. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna deliver the headline. I'm really not gonna give much context unless you ask for Emma, and I just
Okay.
want a very natural response on a scale from 0 to 10. How does the headline hit you? We're gonna call it entertainment value, but you know, entertainment is a bewitching thing, right? It could entertain you on a level of how much you hate it, how much it makes you laugh, how much it disturbs you, whatever. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
you're gonna. I guess you're judging me. Are you? Am I scoring these two or just you? Are we both doing this?
I think we're both scoring.
Okay.
Mostly because I'm curious about what your
Yeah.
scores will be compared to
All
mine.
right.
I think, yeah.
And do you want to go first or second, or do you care?
I think we should alternate.
Alternate. Here we go. This is all the headlines that we've kind of glossed over that are just patently absurd. So I grabbed them. Here we are. Ready, Emma? Here it
Great.
is. Number one.
Ready.
And as you can see, if you're following along, Emma, I actually the part of the headline that I hyperlinked is really the reason why I grabbed the headline in the first place. But here's the full headline here. Here we go.
Okay,
Lawyer,
I'm ready.
photographer involved in scuffle after Cradle Fund CEO's murder verdict lodge. Police reports despite mutual apology.
That is the craziest. Okay, I'm
Right?
glad. It's funny that we're starting with this one because this
I don't know what
is
the
the
hell's
most
going on.
insane combination of words in a headline. Like I've just
Isn't it?
never seen
Is
it
it
so jam
not?
packed. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's I can't even if you're going off headline alone, it's lawyer, it's a lawyer and a photographer.
Yeah.
Don't
Lawyer,
really know
comma,
how
photographer. Yeah.
right, like do those people have a relationship? Do they are they strangers? I don't know. And then a scuffle could mean a lot of things. A
Yeah.
scuffle could mean a verbal argument. It could mean a physical fight. It could mean, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what a scuffle means. And then, what the hell is the Cradle Fund?
Yeah.
That's confusing to me immediately. And then the CEO of the Cradle Fund got murdered, hypothetically, or maybe got
Yeah.
accused of murder. Like, that's not even clear to me who the victim of the murder was. And then there was a mutual apology. Is that between the lawyer and the photographer? Is that between the murder and the murderee? I just feel like there's so much going on here that I
There's a
have to
lot.
give it I have to give it a 10 for entertainment value. This is, by the way, if this is tragic and I'm giving it a 10, I'm so sorry. But it's just a lot of words
It's not
together
your
for me.
fault, Emma. You were raised in a society where corporations like Netflix, Hulu, they show a lot of content that involves a lot of murder.
Yeah.
It's not your
So
fault.
yeah, I guess I'll
They
kick
want
it
you to
off.
find murder entertaining. They want that.
Like if I'm going off of eye-catching headline
Yeah,
alone, yeah, it's
yeah,
a 10.
yeah. I'm gonna. I hope I don't agree with you every time, but I have to agree with you on this one. Not only does it involve some of the things that we like to cover here, which is CEOs and apologies, but you're right.
Mhm.
It's a complete disaster of a word salad, and it's every time I read it, there's more to discover because it
There
is
really
so.
is.
And no offense to the the Malay male that's out of Indonesia.
Mhm.
Uh, no, it's out of Malaysia.
Yeah.
The
Hence
reporting on this is just as confusing. The first three paragraphs of this article is maybe worse than the headline
yeah.
itself. But let's move on. It's a 10 for
Okay.
me too.
Woohoo.
Here we go.
Next.
We haven't covered this one too.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon voluntarily steps back as CEO and chair of the board. His daughter Stephanie McMahon takes interim position. So this is
Mhm.
happening at WWE.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know about this at all?
Yeah, I do. I don't, I mean, WWE is a culture that I could not give you an accurate sentence about the WWE.
Okay.
Like, there's just no information I could give you about it.
Yeah.
But that being said, this is like, I just feel like it's very rare for someone to voluntarily step down without board pressure or, fighting at least a little bit. It seemed like he did it pretty quick once the news
Well,
broke.
when you have your daughter there who takes over your CEO role, maybe it makes it
It's
easier.
it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
I mean, does that mean that that WWE now has a female CEO?
I
You know,
guess it does for the time
it's
being.
a weird way for that to
Yeah.
occur,
Sure. Yeah.
but it's what happened, which is entertaining in and of itself, I guess.
Yeah. So what do you think here?
No, we're alternating. You go first.
Oh, I go first.
Yeah.
The reason why I highlighted this story is because the voluntarily part, because clearly,
Mhm.
I don't know if I buy into that. I just thought it was a funny word to choose in the headline.
Yeah.
This is out of reporting from the Wall Street Journal, and where the board is investigating payments that McMahon and
Mhm.
maybe the head of talent, that there were payments made to former female employees. I don't really know what's going on here. Maybe
Yeah.
dating, harassment, assault.
It
I don't know
sound
what's happening. Yeah.
It sounds like sort of a combo deal.
Okay.
If I had to hazard a guess, it sounds like there was potentially an inappropriate but hypothetically consensual relationship between a paralegal
Yeah.
and McMahon, the former CEO, but it also sounds like there was some misconduct involved as well.
Yeah.
I think that I feel, obviously horrible for the women involved and like that all sucks and it's a shitty way for a CEO to become a woman all of a sudden on the back of, affair payments and, harassment or whatever. But the fact that it's the WWE, the daughter immediately took over and it's all honestly the WWE, if it all just gets me, I think that this is a solid 6
Oh,
for
you
me.
didn't even let me. You didn't even let me give a rating. You
Oh,
just
right.
how
Wow,
dare
I
you?
just took over. I don't know, you were boring
I'm
me.
I'm roughly in the same category. I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm not overly entertained by this. I think I'm like mildly entertained by the Mad Men culture, maybe of the WWE,
Yeah.
where there's
Yeah.
still CEOs giving hush payments to their female
Yeah,
staff like that.
what?
I kind of hope that wasn't still going on, and also that the idea of handing over the CEO role to your daughter. I assume she's
Mhm.
going to take over the company one day anyway, so maybe just give it
Yeah.
to her permanently. But the other thing I love here is that we still, as a culture, even in the business news or in corporate boardrooms, we haven't caught up with the just how silly our word choice is and how
Yeah,
patriarchal it is to say that Vince McMahon is stepping down as chairman and his
I
daughter's
know.
taking over. I mean, come on. I mean, once again, I just want to point out: can we just get rid of this title, chairman? It's ridiculous at this point. Okay,
Stand on that soapbox.
moving
Do
on.
it. Okay.
Uh, Here's the headline. I visited Pizza Hut in the metaverse and found a fundamental misunderstanding of what customers want. This is out of Business Insider, one of our favorite publications. There's a lot more. I could tell you a lot about this. Maybe you don't
Yeah, I don't
care.
even I don't even think I care. Like I think I
Okay.
have my take.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that this would be a pretty low scoring one for me if not for the irony of the fact that the metaverse is supposed to be just another iteration of, our hyper capitalist consumer centric
Right. Yeah,
culture.
that's what I'm
And
learning.
they fucked it up. They also didn't even do it well. They didn't even get people sucked in the way that they want to suck people in. And so that irony alone, I don't like the metaverse. It upsets me. That's not entertaining. But the irony, I think, gives it a 5 for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this story is really more for Matt, but of course, Matt
Yeah, it
Basis
is.
is not here
Yeah.
today. I'm entertained by this headline because
Yeah.
I maybe because I just find the way Business Insider covers this type of stuff is just absolutely moronic. Um, and I
Damn.
love when they say things like when there's a fundamental misunderstanding of what customers want. Like this reporter knows fundamentally what customers want.
Oh,
But anyway,
obviously.
I don't
An
want to get
expert.
lost in the weeds here. I'll point out a few things. The Pizza Hut metaverse is in something called Complex Land, which made me laugh.
Oh, okay.
And one tidbit here, I just needed to point out that there's something about in this metaverse of Pizza Hut, they're doing something with delivery drivers, and each car is located. Each car has an undead delivery driver. So this is how moronic and juvenile this world really. This
So,
is
like,
clearly a world being created only by boys, right? Because it's
clearly,
absolutely stupid already. That's all I'm gonna
it's
say.
zombies. They already
Yeah,
included zombies somehow.
yeah. So I'm gonna give this an 8 just for idiocy,
Great.
entertainment idiocy. Moving on.
Moving on.
Um, I was thinking about the Uvalde shooting, unfortunately, when I saw this headline, so I grabbed it because it kind of hit me. MasterCard and Visa say it's totally fine to let people buy ghost guns with their credit cards. Do you know what ghost guns are?
Not really, to be honest.
Okay, so they are untraceable, easy to assemble firearm kits that are often sold over the internet.
Is it like a dark web situation?
Here's what Mastercard and Visa is doing. They're saying, hey, it's not illegal, so go f yourself. It's not really dark web. No, I think it's like because I mean, unless the dark, I just assume the dark web you can't use your credit card to buy things. It seems like it's more you would use crypto or some kind of untraceable
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
No, I think
But
this
no,
is just
credit
horrible
cards.
legal firearm kits that MasterCard and Visa are totally happy to make money off of. Even though, I mean, what are they really making? They're making like a transaction fee. That's all they're making. Like, you'd think that even they could like ban this just for some good PR. Like, how much
Yeah,
money they're
right.
really making off of this stuff?
I think clearly enough that they're willing to defend it or not piss off the NRA or someone.
Yeah, so and the reason why this is relevant to us is that at MasterCard, there is currently a shareholder proposal asking shareholders to vote on this very thing. And of
Yeah.
course, the entire MasterCard board is against this proposal. They don't want you to ban this practice. But there you go. That's what do you think?
Yeah.
Entertained by this? You're
I
up.
think it's your turn first.
I'm up. I'm entertained by this a 7 because I learned about ghost guns and I learned a new way to kind of hate MasterCard. So I kind of felt good about that.
Yeah, I think that actually my reasoning is very similar to yours, but my score is different. I think that
Yeah.
there's very little entertaining about this, except for the fact that it was interesting to me it was an interesting indictment of a new industry for their complicity in gun violence.
Yes.
It's, like I would never think to, address credit card companies about this, but I feel like a really good example of stakeholder capitalism and the power it can wield. So for that,
True.
it's a 2.
This is a very direct way of the power it could yield. Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Moving
Yeah.
on. I don't know if you know about this. I don't think we covered this in your absence, but I
Nope.
guess Jay-Z and Jack Dorsey have opened up a Bitcoin school at Jay-Z's former housing project in Brooklyn. Yeah, I know. Um, yeah,
I
and let's just say it's been met with a lot of to be
resistance.
nice, I'd say confusion, but beyond that, it's just like, are you kidding me, right? Like, to think that the people in these projects have extra money to take a gamble on, especially
Mhm.
on something that's currently tanking.
Mhm.
Basically, it's a gambling market at this
Mhm.
point. So the whole
Mhm.
okay. Anyway, I included this because I wanted a chance to talk about it, and seemed the
Right.
right person to talk about it with.
Okay. First of all, I do need one piece of
Yeah,
information before that you might not have, so I'm going to also Google it while I ask it,
yeah.
which is Jay-Z a billionaire? Do you know?
Oh yeah, he's supposedly he's being called the first like rap mogul who became a billionaire. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it matters that he's the first, but yes, he is a billionaire. Absolutely.
Okay. So I feel like this just goes to show that there are no good billionaires. Like I
Did you
love
think he was
Beyonce.
one? Yeah.
She came out with a new song today. I haven't listened to
So
it yet, but I hear it's very
what's that
good.
have to do? What's that have to do with her husband?
It's I feel like he gets the Beyonce glow around him,
Okay,
if that makes sense.
sure.
But that being said, I think I refer back to my original statement, which is that there are no good billionaires, and once you're a billionaire, you are like out of touch with what people think. It becomes incredibly hard to access what comes off as like not in touch with the realities of living in a world where you have to worry about money, which is most of people. And when you're out
Mm-hmm.
of touch with them, you do stuff that comes off really badly. So part of this to me is really depressing because I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, even Jay Z sucks and he does shitty stuff that I really disagree with. That being said, I do think that there's an entertainment value to this, including a quote from the article that you referenced from
Mm-hmm.
a 58-year-old retiree named Myra Raspberry, which is just
Yeah.
the best name I've ever heard in my entire life. So
Right.
that gives it a couple of points alone. So I
Sure.
think I'm going to go with a balanced 5.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I gotta say, I'm definitely entertained by this, not for the right reasons, but first of all, anytime
totally.
you have people like Jack Dorsey and Jay
Oh,
Z
yeah, that's the
involved.
other thing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
I
even
mean,
talk
this
about
is their.
Jack.
I guess this is their project together. They're only highlighting Jay Z here because it's at his former housing project.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, uh, I want to. I feel like I want to conjure up something positive about this. Supposedly, it's a series of free financial literacy courses, which, as we know, is extremely important. But under the name of the Bitcoin Academy, has
Yeah,
me
uh-uh.
concerned. Why?
Also,
Why
the
is it
fact
called
that
the? Yeah.
it's concerning to me, and of course, given the partnership with Jack Dorsey, this makes sense, but it is concerning to me that a school is sponsored by a company.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's
the crypto house, it's the Bitcoin house. It's specific to
yeah.
one type of crypto that they're trying to sell you. So it all feels icky to me.
Does feel a little icky. So I'm going to give it a 7 entertainment value. Moving on, speaking of billionaires, Warren Buffett auction. Someone paid $19 million for a steak lunch. And I will remind you, of course, it does go to charity, but, I'm just saying that's the headline.
Sounds like a tax write off to me.
Yeah, I mean, the sad irony of the charity it goes to is it goes to combating poverty, hunger, and homelessness.
That's
That's the hardest
super
part of all
sad.
this. Yeah, so that's the headline. Any entertained by that at all? Oh, I'm up. I'm
I
up. I'm up first.
Oh yeah, 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 go ahead.
I'm gonna say I'm not entertained by that at all. I
Okay.
mean, if is anger entertaining? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like I'm beating a dead horse at this point with this kind of
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
I'm at like a 1 on this one.
All I have to say, I think once again, and I'm discovering about myself that I am particularly entertained by irony, I guess. But the irony of the fact that Warren Buffett is supposed to be the everyman and he drinks his soda and eats his
Yeah.
McDonald's, and someone paid $19 million for a steak lunch, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, you hear it's also, I like how they're saying steak lunch as if that's
Yeah.
a thing. A steak dinner is a phrase. Like, if you say,
Yes.
oh, I'm having a steak dinner, a steak
I
lunch,
was
why
just
couldn't they
about to
just
say
have
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
why couldn't they have made it a steak dinner? Why did it
Well,
have to be lunch?
even worse, I thought these people were supposed to be hardworking, like businessmen. I mean, how do you How do you
No.
recover from a steak lunch? Don't you need a nap? I could never
Oh,
eat that much
absolutely.
food. That is too much food for
I
lunch.
totally agree. A steak sandwich, that would be different. If they said it was a steak
Maybe.
sandwich
Even that
lunch,
seems a bit
that
much.
makes it seem like leftover steak that you put on a sandwich and eat it cold, and that's acceptable
It's
lunch. That
okay,
is
I
clearly not what
suppose.
they're doing. That being said, the irony is kind of entertaining to me, so for that reason, I will give it a 4.
Moving on, just the headline. Just the headline. Amazon
Okay.
could run out of workers.
Okay, is that me first?
Yes. Yes, you first.
Um, yeah,
You
I'm
did
pretty
laugh.
entertained by that. I
Yeah.
did no, I laughed. Exactly. Like there's something really ridiculous about it, and maybe it doesn't have to do even so much with the sentiment of the headline as much as how the headline is worded. Like I just love when it's really short like that and it is what it is. Amazon could run out of workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they could. That's
I
kind of
guess they
funny.
could, sure.
But I think it's also a real issue. Like yes, they actually could. Absolutely. The labor shortage in quote unquote labor shortage, aka we don't want to pay people a lot,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, they aren't paying people the way they want to be paid. So no shit, they can run out of workers because people don't want to work for them anymore. And like they're union busting. I don't know. It's like, it's sort of like a no shit headline, but I
Yeah.
like how it's phrased. So I think I'm going to also give this a 4.
Oh, okay. Once again, you're always confusing me with your. I can never understand your emotional patterns. But why should I? Really, honestly,
Why should you?
I'm higher in this
It's
one. I'm like
part
a
of my charm.
7, and I have the subtext here to me is basically what you already said, which is that it's just funny to me that all you have to do is increase wages and you won't run out of
Yeah.
workers. Like
It's
it's
one
like
factor.
yeah, it's really simple. And so this is about a leaked report. This is covered by Recode, covered by New York Times,
hmm
and as an example of this, they say this is according to an internal Amazon document that just increasing wages by a single dollar would automatically increase the hiring pool by 7%. So
Yeah. Well, did
it's
you
pretty easy. This whole thing is pretty easy. There's no worker shortage. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, stop
Did
it.
you? I don't want to belabor this for too long, but did you see the headline where Jeff Bezos was like, I wouldn't be, basically, he was saying that he wouldn't be surprised if Amazon didn't exist in 30 years because or went bankrupt in 30 years because companies aren't built to last for 100 years anymore. They're built to last more like 30. He said that. Yeah.
Why is he? Okay, I don't even
Yeah.
know. All right.
Which is just, well, and of course, it's just the reason, in my mind anyway, being that they underpay their workers, they enrich anywhere from like 1 to 8 people and make
Right.
them all billionaires and they're set for life and everyone else gets screwed. But then once they've enriched themselves, they're like, okay, whatever,
Well,
you
and
know?
as he knows really well, because I know he gets sad about the way the Earth is
Oh,
being
does he
treated.
get
That
sad?
30 more years of Amazon in the addiction, the drug that it is,
Yeah.
the ridiculous amount of shopping and waste it represents. He knows
Yeah.
that that can't last.
Yeah, he was making use of the
Shouldn't
time where
last.
people weren't going to do anything about him.
All right, the next section we'll go quickly. You don't need to rate anything here. I just want you to pick a headline. I
Great.
gathered. I'm sorry to do this, but look,
We have to.
we cover corporations, we cover executives. Pick the Elon Musk headline that most resonates with you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Elon Musk undecided on whether he will support Donald Trump in 2024
Good.
election. I mean, imagine being undecided about that. It just kind of
Mm.
made me laugh. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk's child seeks name change to
Mm-hmm.
sever ties with father. That's absolutely a true article.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Number three, Elon Musk says media is obviously overwhelmingly negative, us as an example, and he loves Twitter because it lets him get his message directly to people. That sounds like a little bit of fun, like a fan of propaganda there. Number four, Elon Musk says he doesn't really care about being CEO of Twitter or his title, but people do need to listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a fun guy to hang out with, doesn't it, Elon Musk?
Yeah.
And number
So,
five, Elon Musk said he recently tried TikTok for the first time and compared it to next level ADD.
huh.
Which one of
Very.
those? Which one of those Elons do you want to? Which one is the winner?
So, I'll do a process of elimination quickly.
Yeah.
So, the whole name change, like ties severed, father child thing, it's just sad to me. Like, I feel horrible for the kid. Her,
Yeah.
this person's parent is not, being respectful of their gender identity and the pronouns that this person prefers. So that's tragic to me.
It's tragic. Here's a
Um,
quote. Here's a quote from that. I
mhm,
know this from the child. I
mhm.
no longer live with or wish to be related to my biological father in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
That's how we feel about Elon Musk. It is nice to share this. I
Yeah.
mean, in this way, it
Absolutely.
is. You're right. It's sad, but I'm just saying
It's
we
sad.
feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. His kids should really know that they have a lot of people with them. At
Yeah,
least they're
we
not alone
support you. We support you.
yeah. So that one's gone. I think that he loves Twitter because it lets him get his message directly to people. It's like, yeah, I know. It's basically the only way, and people love up on you and vote in your polls, and I'm sure it makes you feel very good about yourself. Congrats.
Yeah, and why do we need the pesky press to actually
Exactly.
to provide any kind of a counterbalance to his thoughts, right? Why would why would he want anyone
No.
like looking
No.
into to facts or looking into
Yeah.
research?
Sounds
Seems
sketchy. Facts.
seems like a
Don't trust
hindrance
them.
to like authoritarianism. So I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get
Mm-hmm.
that.
Totally. And then the whole doesn't really care about being CEO of Twitter, but people do need to listen to me. Ari actually made a really good point
Yeah.
yesterday,
Uh-huh.
which is I thought that he was, when I was actually, I think I was impersonating Matt while I was doing this,
Yes.
but I was like, oh, Matt's going to say that he's a liar. Like, he does want to be CEO. He wants to be the CEO of everything. But then she made a very convincing argument as to the fact that he really doesn't, and he really can't control Twitter in the way that he controls other stuff, because it's clear that the Twitter workforce is not as receptive to him and are going to put
Yeah.
barriers in his way.
Right.
So I think he
I don't
knows
think
that
he
he
could
needs.
handle it. I don't think he could
Right.
handle that job. Yeah.
Right. So that one. So I think it is very obvious that the undecided on whether or not he will support Donald Trump in the 2024 election is just that's the one for me. That is it.
Oh, what about the TikTok next level ADD?
Oh, right. He just loves to throw around like psychiatric terms of
Pop
various type.
psychology.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
you need to, I think, read a book about it before you throw those terms around.
Uh, I like what you're saying with all that. I like
Yeah.
and I like the Twitter CEO observation because I think both of you are right. I don't think that he has I don't think he has the emotional depth to be a CEO at a company like that. I don't think he could
Yeah.
possibly understand the nuance it would take to work with a workforce like that, right? Like it's too
Yeah.
complicated for him.
Yeah.
He's better off just making cars and bullying people around because that just seems
Oh, yeah.
much more straightforward.
Yeah.
So I
For
agree
sure.
there. I gotta pick, but I gotta pick the. I'm sorry, I gotta pick his child seeking a name change only
Yeah.
because.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
look, I mean, it just says everything there is to say
Oh,
about
yeah.
this
Absolutely.
this man. Anyway,
Yeah.
all right, there you go. That's the Elon
Mm.
Musk section. Moving on.
Woo.
We got a lot left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the kind of show that Matt wants to vomit up. Here we go.
I'm loving it.
House Oversight Committee asks Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder to reconsider not testifying at hearing. Remember we covered this last week.
Yeah.
This dope who owns the Washington football team,
Yeah.
which has gotten rid of its racist name. Now they're the Commanders. He decided not to show up to testify at a House committee, and now they're kind of asking him nicely, like, please.
Yeah, I think that honestly, I'm very disappointed by this headline. Because one, I'm seeing here that Damien wrote some beautiful context for me to look at, and it says that they gave him additional accommodations,
Mm-hmm.
which is upsetting because I don't think he deserves additional
No.
accommodations. He should just be yelled at and
Yes.
belittled until he does what he should be doing, which is showing up like a normal person.
Yeah.
And so this is just annoying to me. Like, I don't really find this entertaining. I think it's two.
Yeah, it does. It does sort of quickly though demonstrate the sort of how women lead. You know, because the head of this committee is the chair of this committee is Carolyn Maloney from New York.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. Like even her willingness to give additional accommodations to get him to come in is such the opposite like bully culture that we're used to in the corporate world So
Yeah.
like right there is a perfect demonstration of why I'm like begging all men to just step down from the leadership
Right, because
positions.
as much as it annoys me, it is probably smart because whatever accommodations
Yeah.
they gave him, I'm sure are pale in comparison to the impact it will have if he actually shows up. So like she's
Yeah.
probably right, but I'm annoyed that he has to be given accommodations rather than having a punitive system that actually works.
So I'm gonna give this a 6 just because I like the word reconsider. I don't know. I just like the way that
Me too.
I mean I that you have to treat these men like little
Hmm.
boys. Moving on.
Truly.
Man told he was not getting any younger when he was passed up for CEO job. I think this one's me first. I
Hmm.
just like that telling anyone that they're not getting any younger is just funny to me because we're all aging at the same
Hmm.
pace, right?
Yeah. I think
So
that
it
you should
just,
start telling me that I'm not getting any younger.
but what is that even? It's like an absolute. I just love meaning. I love when people say things that are absolutely meaningless. So I was
Yeah.
entertained. This is like a 9 for me because of how stupid it is.
Right. I feel like when I read there, first of all, there are not that many stories about ageism that
Yeah,
pop up when we're combing through the headlines. It's just
very
not something
few.
that very few. But this is a pretty dictionary like definition of ageism in a way
Yeah,
that I feel like we don't usually see. It's just
yeah.
so obvious that I'm like, yeah, something I think needs to happen. It's very clear to me that there was discrimination there. Wonder what's going to happen next. So I am curious in the outcome of this, which probably gives it at least an automatic 5.
Yeah, well, I'll disappoint you. He lost the case.
After being told that he wasn't getting any
Yeah,
younger.
this was the same like worker tribunal system in the UK that where we remember we talked
Oh,
about how
it
men
was in the
were
UK,
being
right?
called bald was considered sexual
Oh
harassment.
yeah. Oh
Yeah, so
yeah.
there's something
Hmm.
wonky going on over there. I guess
Yeah,
somehow this
definitely.
is not age discrimination,
Mhm.
but hey, that's that's what they
Mhm.
decided. Moving on. Uh, Okay, employees at a. This is from employees at a pretty famous restaurant in New York City. 11 Madison Park employees. This is a strange headline, Emma.
Mhm.
11. Okay, the restaurant's called 11 Madison Park. Okay,
Yes.
11 Madison Park employees said
Yes.
the vegan staff meals left some starving during shifts. One said he was so malnourished he had to go to the doctor but was still refused chicken. How's that for a headline?
That
That's a
is
lot.
just really like, I think that I have to give 11 Madison Park an 11. This is the
Yeah, it's like
most,
quite a headline.
it's quite a
Yeah.
headline. And particularly because I specifically remember when the news broke that 11 Madison Park was going vegan, period. Like it was for
Big
whatever
deal. Big
reason,
deal.
yeah, they were just like, oh, this extremely expensive, like highly regarded, like,
Mhm.
iconic restaurant is going vegan because of environmental reasons. Wow, they're making such a statement. And like, how much of a statement is it if they're, selling, I don't know, like $40 celery strips? Like, I don't know what they're doing, but
Yeah.
it's an,
How dare you
it,
devalue what they're doing with
I'm so
but
sorry.
yes.
But this is just the best headline. Like, I feel horrible for the people who are malnourished, but I think even they would have to agree with me that this
Yeah.
is pretty crazy. And I have no other choice than to give it an 11 for 11 Madison Park.
I'm gonna agree with you for different reasons. I'm
Okay.
usually, you know me, I'm on the side of any worker for just about everything,
Yeah.
right? Like I am
Yeah.
like I'm knee jerk on the side of all labor.
Are you going to blame the worker right now? Is
But
that what
I'm
I'm
gonna
about
say
to
something
hear?
here. I don't buy this. I don't buy that the chefs at 11 Madison Park that the meals that okay. I get that vegan meals are not for everyone, but really grow up, people.
Yeah.
Seriously. They're leaving you malnourished. I'm sorry. I find this hard
Well,
to believe.
okay.
There is such a stupid reaction to vegan meals in our culture that like somehow it has no nutrients. You don't think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that the Levis and Madison Park chefs they don't know how to create vegan meals with protein and all the right nutrients? Come on, you need chicken.
Well,
Stop
yeah,
it.
that's the
I'm
part. I
sorry.
agree.
This whole thing. I'm laughing at this whole thing. You
Yeah,
may,
it
and I'm
really
not
is
telling you
absurd.
again. I'm on the side of workers usually. Maybe you shouldn't be working at a vegan. I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
just saying. Like the whole thing just makes me laugh. It really makes me
It
laugh.
I agree. I think that the whole requesting
Need
chicken
chicken.
specifically
Stop it.
thing is
At a
very
vegan
funny.
restaurant, you want
Yeah.
chicken?
It's
What are they gonna
really
do? They're gonna pull out a chicken. Where are they gonna get
Yeah,
the chicken at
I
a
guess
vegan
so.
restaurant? Where are
And
they
of
gonna
course,
find that?
when you're working in a restaurant, the meal that they feed you, I mean, oftentimes your shifts are very long and you're
I
on
get
your
it. I worked at
feet and
restaurants.
oh yeah, but you're absolutely right. Like you
A
can make
chicken.
a vegan meal that is filling and nutritious, no problem.
Yeah. You're
The
gonna,
chicken is unnecessary.
I'm gonna remind you, Emma. You're gonna ask for where are they gonna find a chicken
Maybe they
at a
can find
vegan
a
restaurant?
chicken. Don't pretend like they can't find a chicken. Like they can
Stop it.
go
The whole
out
thing
and
is ridiculous.
it
It's
is
silly.
ridiculous.
It's
All
silly.
right, moving on.
Oh, here's a good one. James Patterson, famous author, apologized for saying white male authors face racism. A little bit of background. I guess he was complaining that it's hard for white male writers to get published anymore, basically.
Yeah, that wasn't great. I remember that.
I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this. I just think I just
Yeah.
think it's fun. I
I
just
think
think
this
it's
is
fun.
you
I just think it's
first.
fun. It's me first.
Yeah.
The main reason why I'm choosing this one is because they quote a librarian here in the article. I
Oh,
love librarians. It
of course.
says, the quote is, as a librarian, all I'm saying is that my library could replace half of our James Patterson books with books by marginalized authors, and we would still have more Patterson books than books by almost any other single author. So I just thought I thought that was
Wow.
funny. But anyway, yeah, this whole thing is just ridiculous. Just
Okay,
ridiculous. Yeah.
Damien, props to you for picking the exact piece of context that I would need to
Yes.
change my score because
Yeah.
that I feel like really does give it a little more oomph.
Yeah.
And yeah, now I'm really entertained by this actually. I think this is a 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Yeah.
A self audit carried out by Penguin Random House in the last few years found that 75% were white.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right.
Okay. Oh, here's another good one. This is like straight out of a sitcom. The headline is 25 employees suffer burns after hot coal team building event in Switzerland. I guess
Oh my God, it's literally
they
that episode of The Office where
yes,
Pam walks
the
across the
article
coals.
yes, the article does reference that episode from The Office, and it's actually
Yeah.
it sounds pretty serious. 10 ambulances showed up.
Yeah.
25 people given medical treatment. 13 of them were hospitalized.
That's not like a sitcom. That's like what happens
Yeah.
on the set of a sitcom when a scene goes really wrong.
And of
You
course,
know?
the CEO said that it was completely voluntary. Nobody was forced to do it.
Please,
But come on, we know. Yeah,
please.
exactly.
I would feel
Thank you.
so if I didn't do it, I would be mortified.
Right? I mean, there's so
Yeah.
much peer pressure at these events that,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
silly. Yeah. You want
Well,
to give this one a
this
rating?
I mean, I don't want to give this one too high a score, mostly out
Yeah.
of respect for the burn victims. I just,
Kind of. Yeah.
like I
Hopefully they're
feel,
not life threatening. Hopefully
but
it's
it
not life threatening.
is a crazy enough story that I think it deserves something decently high, like an 8.
Yeah.
I hope everyone's okay, but man, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, I'd give it an 8 too for the tie-in to the Office episode that Emma
Absolutely.
is referring
That
to.
gave it a
Moving
boost.
on, here's the headline: We regret to inform you that we all quit.
Oh,
Two GameStop stores have had 4 mass resignations in the past year. I just like that. We regret to inform you that we all quit.
yeah, that's
That-
perfect. That's a 10.
Yeah, that's me. That's a 10. Yeah, I just like this.
Yeah.
I like stories like that.
Absolutely.
Not that I like the events that led to them feeling like they
Yeah.
had to quit their jobs, but
But
I
the
don't know,
outcome
it's
is
just-
great.
Yeah, it's just kind of a human. Okay, we can move on from that one. The next headline. Oh, back to our favorite bloated billionaires. Charlie Munger reads like a machine, swears constantly, and clashed with Warren Buffett over Costco. A close friend reveals in a new interview. You entertained by that headline?
I have to admit, I am
Yeah.
surprised by the reads like a machine thing.
I was too for some reason, but
That
why are we surprised by that?
I don't know. I feel like I associate that with Bill Gates.
Right.
He's,
Well,
you
they
know,
are Buff. I mean, we're talking about Charlie Munger here, but Buffett
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Bill Gates are famously like BFFs, right?
Yeah, they, are, supposed geniuses from
Mm-hmm.
um But or actually, I can't remember where Bill Gates is from, but
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Warren
is he
Buffett.
from? Is he middle?
I
He
can't
does
remember,
seem
but
kind of
he gives
folksy
me,
and yeah,
yeah, he has that folksy
it's like
aura about
waspy
him.
Midwest vibe. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. I totally agree. The swears constantly thing sort of makes sense to me because I
Yeah, of
feel like Warren,
course.
yeah, I mean, he's
No, this is
Warren
Charlie
Buffett's,
Munger again. This is
I
Charlie
know, but
Munger.
he's,
Charlie Munger. Yeah.
I know, but he's Warren Buffett's like right-hand man, and that's
So
something
he's
about that makes sense to me, the fact that he
okay.
swears
Yeah.
a lot. Um, yeah, but I have to say, I'm pretty
You are.
curious
You're entertained
about,
by this.
I am, so I guess it's
Okay.
a 7. Sorry, I keep on going
Um,
first.
the only part that entertained me was the. I'm gonna give it a 4. Because I'm mostly sick about hearing these about these people. Although they're pretty old. So sadly I don't know how much longer they'll be around to keep
Mm-hmm.
hearing about them. But I'm just going to remind the audience that Charlie Munger infamously made fun of an English professor from Swarthmore for some God knows reason. I
Mm,
don't even know why that had to be the person to make fun of. But
mm-hmm.
this is the same guy that reads like a machine. So it's like, dude, like, don't be such a dick. Really, that's all I can
Truly.
think of. Like,
What
don't be you constantly. That's all I'm gonna
what
say.
what's your score?
Oh, sorry. 4 only. Because I was only that little part entertained me. That part
Okay,
about
okay.
yeah.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
moving on. Only 2 left. And speaking of Warren Buffett's headline, Warren Buffett's BFF. This next one is about Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Gates joked that Microsoft axed Internet Explorer because it ran out of microchips vaccinating everyone.
Is that a
Like that one?
joke? Like, did he
Well,
make a
yeah,
joke
sure. Yeah, he made a joke. What do you
that
think?
he was that he was that he was chipping everyone?
Yeah, he's making fun of all the crazies. I mean, do you, let me ask you this. Do you not like Bill Gates a little bit more now that he's one of the big enemies of all the MAGA creeps?
I mean,
Does it not make you like him like a little more?
I just
I know
here's
you
the
have an
thing.
anti-billionaire thing, and I get it, but he
Yeah, it's
does.
not even the
Yeah,
anti-billionaire thing. It's
yeah.
that frankly his joke hits a little too close to home, and I
Okay.
understand that he's not, like he's making fun of the people who are skeptical of vaccines and have all sorts of conspiracy theories about him.
Yeah.
However, it would not shock me if I found out that Bill Gates was secretly chipping everyone that they
Okay, so
vaccinate.
you're also quasi conspiracy theory.
You know this about me,
I guess it's
and
true. I
I
guess I
think
forget this about you. Yeah.
I think I also recently watched a TV show that has this
Yes.
top of mind for
Which
me.
TV show is that?
It's called Made for Love,
Oh yeah,
and
you love that one. Yeah.
yeah, I really do like that one. And it chipping people was a big component of that show.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
you
it's
should.
yeah.
You know what you should do to maybe calm down this part of you is you should
Hmm.
be like me, an old person, and watch. I'm also watching a show from that same HBO Max called.
Uh-huh.
This one's about Julia Child, about when she
Oh
put her
yeah.
show first on public television, like in the like 1950s or whatever. So
Hey, I love Julie and Julia.
do
You
dorky
can
stuff like I do, and you won't like conspiracy theories as much.
I just said that I like Julie and Julia. I'm
Okay,
obviously
fine.
doing dorky stuff.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that this is intriguing and scary
Hmm.
enough to be sort of entertaining. It's like watching a horror movie.
Okay.
It's so I'm giving it an 8 actually.
Uh. Um. I'm in the middle of this one. I'll give it a 5.
Okay.
Yeah. I like. I don't
Mhm.
know. I like that he's making fun of this, but then it made me sad because I feel like it's just that we live in a conspiracy theory age, and that and also what it really represents is the lack of education. And I just got sad all of a
Definitely.
sudden.
Oh,
Just got sad all
okay.
of a sudden.
Well, that's good because we're
Yeah,
almost
that's
done.
good.
So you're allowed.
And finally, yeah, in a very long-winded show about the headlines that make us feel something, no, that entertain us.
Mhm.
Here's the headline: Wizz. You probably never heard of this airline, but here's this Wizz Air. Here's the headline: Wizz Air CEO sparked outrage after criticizing pilots for refusing to fly when tired.
Wait.
Okay,
Wait.
you seem
What?
entertained by it. Yeah. So he's already being
Yeah.
investigated by European safety regulators for this comment.
No shit. I would investigate his ass too.
Yeah,
Aren't there
right?
rules about that? Like
I would hope.
pilots only have so many hours they can fly. I think.
I hope you're right.
I think I am right because
Yeah.
I had a friend who was on a plane and the plane was so delayed that the pilots ran out of flight time. And so the
Oh,
flight ended up getting canceled because they didn't have another pilot to replace
good.
the pilot. Like there are
Yeah.
rules. Yeah, of course they're
I
getting
would think.
investigated. I think that
Yeah.
that's illegal if they're forcing pilots to fly in certain
All
circumstances.
all I'm gonna say is you seem pretty entertained by this headline.
I kind of am. It's just crazy that a an air travel CEO
Mm-hmm.
vocalized his distaste for safety regulations in the industry he's in that he hypothetically is an expert in considering the fact
Yeah.
that he's a CEO.
Hypothetically. Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a bold move by the Wizz Air CEO to blatantly complain about safety
Yeah.
regulations
Very old school. Very old
for an
school.
industry that scares a lot of people, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
so many people are afraid to fly, and this CEO is willing to risk his airline's reputation by being like, we make our pilots fly tired, and we don't
Yeah.
care. So, this is a 10. I don't know. I just talked myself into
Yeah.
being really entertained or at least intrigued by this.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah.
I'll end the show on a 10 too because it does have that like it feels like, again like very Mad Men, like very like throwback, crazy male CEO just saying stupid, terrible things.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's it. That's the show, Emma.
That's it, Damien. Should I be Matt today and
Yeah, be
get us
Matt.
out of here?
I don't like being Matt. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. This is Business Pants. I'm Emma Lurking, joined by Damian Rollis and no Matt because,
No,
like I said at the top of the show, he doesn't like us anymore.
no,
And
it's okay.
Ari also isn't here, but I miss her already. Thank you for listening. We will be back tomorrow with some Woke Wednesday nonsense, I think.
Yeah, more nonsense always.
If you miss Matt, that sucks because he won't be here tomorrow either, but we will, and you obviously like us better anyway. We will see you then. Bye.